Ever heard of a place so haunted it's illegal to visit? Today, we're journeying to the shores of Venice, Italy, but not for the gondolas or romantic canals. We're heading to a small, forbidden island with a history so dark, it's been called one of the most haunted places on Earth. This is the story of Poveglia Island. Just a short boat ride from the bustling streets of Venice lies Poveglia, a desolate and abandoned patch of land. Looking at it now, with its crumbling buildings and overgrown nature, it's hard to imagine it was ever anything else. But this island's story is a long and tragic one, stretching back centuries. Its dark reputation isn't just a modern ghost story. It's rooted in real historical events that have stained the very soil of the island. The darkness began in the 14th century, during the height of the bubonic plague, the Black Death. As the plague ravaged Europe, Venice was desperate to stop its spread. Their solution was drastic and brutal. They created one of the world's first quarantine stations, or lazarettos, on Poveglia. Ships suspected of carrying the plague were forced to anchor there for 40 days. But it soon became much more than a quarantine station. As the death toll in Venice soared, Poveglia became a massive plague pit. Tens of thousands of people, sick, dying, and even those just showing the slightest symptoms, were forcibly removed from their homes and shipped to the island. They were left there to die, far from their loved ones. It's estimated that over 160,000 souls perished on Poveglia during this time. The dead were thrown into huge pits and often burned. Local legend says that the soil of the island is still composed of more than 50% human ash and bone. Fishermen to this day avoid the waters around Poveglia, claiming their nets sometimes pull up human remains. For centuries, the island remained largely abandoned, a grim monument to a terrifying past. But its story doesn't end there. In 1922, a new chapter of horror began. A large, imposing mental hospital was built on the island. The isolation that once made it a perfect quarantine station now made it a perfect prison for the mentally ill. The patients sent here were essentially cut off from the outside world. Almost immediately, patients began reporting that they were being tormented by the spirits of the plague victims. They spoke of ghostly apparitions, disembodied screams, and a constant feeling of being watched. Of course, their claims were dismissed as symptoms of their mental illness. But the hospital's dark reputation was cemented by the actions of its lead doctor. According to the stories, this doctor was a cruel and ambitious man who believed he could make a name for himself by finding a cure for insanity. He used the isolated patients as his personal lab rats, performing horrific and unethical experiments on them. He was particularly fond of the lobotomy, a brutal procedure he performed with crude tools like hammers, chisels, and hand drills, often without any anesthesia. He subjected his patients to unimaginable pain and suffering in the name of science. The legend goes that the doctor's reign of terror ended when he, too, began to be haunted by the ghosts of Poveglia. The spirits of the plague victims and his own tortured patients supposedly drove him mad. He climbed the hospital's bell tower, and from there, he either jumped or was pushed by a ghostly force. A nurse who allegedly witnessed his fall claimed that a strange mist enveloped his body as he hit the ground, choking the life out of him. Even today, some locals claim that on quiet nights, you can still hear the toll of the bell tower's bell echoing from the deserted island, even though the bell itself was removed decades ago. After the hospital closed in 1968, the island was abandoned once and for all. The Italian government, which owns the island, has forbidden public access. It remains a decaying ruin, a testament to its tragic history. Despite the ban, paranormal investigators and thrill-seekers have occasionally snuck onto the island, and their stories only add to its terrifying legend. They report sudden temperature drops, strange noises, shadowy figures, and the feeling of being touched or pushed by unseen hands. One of the most common reports is the sound of a child crying, "I want to go home." So what do you think? Is Poveglia truly a portal to the underworld, haunted by the thousands of souls who died in agony? Or is it simply a creepy old island whose grim history fuels our darkest fears? The truth remains hidden behind the young trespassing signs. But one thing is for sure. The story of Poveglia Island is a chilling reminder of the dark side of human history. Thanks for joining me on this journey to one of the world's most forbidden places. If you enjoyed this spooky tale, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into mysterious locations. Let me know in the comments if you'd ever dare to visit Poveglia. See you next time.